Answering a question from a comment on the first video of the How to Measure Crude Quality series, today I'm explaining something key. What's really inside Canadian oil sands crude and what happens to all its byproducts. In Canada, some of the oil doesn't come out of the well as a nice, clean liquid. It's an almost paste-like mixture of bitumen, water, and sand. Technically, that oil sands crude is made up of ultra-heavy bitumen, which is very rich in asphaltenes and aromatics, formation water, mineral solids like clay, sand, trace metals such as nickel and vanadium, and a sulfur content that's significantly higher than a conventional light crude. As is, it doesn't flow and can't go into a pipeline. The initial refining is more of a physical-chemical separation process. The material is extracted, mixed with hot water and additives, then it's agitated and the phases separate. On top you get a stream of concentrated bitumen. At the bottom the famous tailings, water, fines, clays and leftover hydrocarbons. Then comes the critical step to get it into the transportation system. There are two main ways to do this. One is dilution. The bitumen is mixed with condensate or naphtha, the so-called diluent, and you get dilbit. That dilbit is then pumped through large pipelines to refineries in the United States, which are already designed to process heavier crudes, especially the ones coming from Canada. The second way is upgrading. The bitumen is fed into coking, hydrotreating, and hydrocracking units. There, heavy molecules are broken down, sulfur, nitrogen, and metals are removed, and syncrude is created, which behaves like a medium-sweet crude. That syncrude then goes into conventional refineries to produce diesel, jet fuel, gasoline, and so on. And the byproducts? Petroleum coke, a black solid that's very rich in carbon and sulfur. Some of it is sold as fuel for cement plants, power plants, or industries that can handle that level of sulfur. The rest is accumulated in enormous open-air piles, waiting for a market or for clearer environmental regulations. Elemental sulfur is recovered in the form of giant yellow blocks and is exported to the chemical and fertilizer industries. In many ports, you'll literally see mountains of sulfur that comes from heavy crudes. Refinery gases and LPG. These are used as internal fuel for the complex itself, reducing the need to purchase external energy. Heavy residual fractions, these can be fed back into deep conversion units, cokers, visbreakers, or, if there's no capacity, they end up as heavy fuel oil for certain industrial or maritime markets. And the tailings, they're thickened, treated, and part of the water is recycled back into the process. The solids are used in mine backfilling and reclamation programs, although the environmental and long-term liability challenge remains huge. So, when you hear oil sands crude, don't just think of a simple barrel. Think of a complex chain of separation, upgrading, and byproduct management where every residue becomes fuel, fertilizer, a chemical feedstock, or an environmental liability to be managed for decades. If you want a video dedicated just to the environmental part, tailings, coke, and sulfur, let me know in the comments and we'll continue this series on how to truly measure and understand crude quality. This is TrendOil Vision, understanding oil like a professional. If you like our videos, follow us, give us a like, subscribe, comment, and ask away. Thanks.